There's a saying I love: strength isn't something you can see when you look at someone. True strength isn't measured by what's visible on the outside. It's something deeper, something that reveals itself in the way you face challenges, rise after every fall, and refuse to let life's difficulties defeat you. Sometimes, you might feel like you're just surviving, doing the bare minimum to get through the day. But what you don't realize is that even in those moments, you're showing incredible strength. This kind of strength doesn't come from lifting weights or wearing a brave face. It comes from persistence, resilience, and the quiet determination to keep moving forward even when no one is watching. In today's video, we'll explore 7 signs of inner strength inspired by Stoic philosophy. These are not flashy traits but essential life skills that define what it means to be truly strong. Most importantly, they will guide you on how to practice these Stoic lessons in your daily life to find inner peace and lasting balance. If this resonates with you, share it with someone who needs a reminder of their own quiet power, a friend, a loved one, even a coworker. It's a small act that could make a big difference. So, are you ready to recognize and embrace the strength within you? Let's begin. Imagine this: you've spent weeks preparing for an important project. Everything seems to be on track, and then suddenly, something goes wrong. Or perhaps, out of nowhere, someone you trust criticizes you unfairly. What would you do? Most people let emotions take over. They might react with anger, frustration, or even despair. It's natural, isn't it? But reacting in the heat of the moment often leads to regret. Let me tell you a story about my boss. He is not just a leader but a master of emotional control. I've watched him handle moments of intense pressure with a calm that is almost unshakable. When a project of ours faced an unexpected setback, everyone else panicked. Some blamed circumstances, others blamed each other. But he remained composed. He asked questions, sought solutions, and guided the team with clarity and focus. It wasn't that he didn't feel the stress, he simply chose not to let it control him. This kind of control is not about suppressing emotions but mastering them. As Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Emotional control is the ability to focus on what you can change while letting go of what you can't. It's the calm within the storm, the strength that turns chaos into clarity. Think about it: how often have you spoken words in anger that you wished you could take back? How many decisions made in frustration ended up making things worse? Emotions are powerful, and when unchecked, they can lead us astray. The Stoics understood this deeply. Seneca wrote, "No man is free who is not master of himself." To live freely, you must guide your emotions with reason, not be ruled by them. The path to emotional control begins with small, intentional steps. When frustration or anger rises, pause. Take a deep breath and give yourself space to think. This moment of pause is powerful. It allows you to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively. Next, ask yourself a key question: is this within my control? The Stoics believed in focusing only on what you can influence. If the answer is no, let it go. If yes, redirect your energy towards solving the problem, not fueling the emotion. Reflection is another key. At the end of the day, take a moment to think about situations where your emotions got the better of you. What triggered them? How could you handle them differently next time? This practice, though simple, builds awareness and resilience over time. Perspective is equally important. When faced with a challenge, ask yourself, will this matter a year from now? Often, what feels overwhelming in the moment becomes trivial in hindsight. Shifting your perspective reduces the emotional weight of temporary setbacks. Emotional control is not about being detached or emotionless. It's about understanding your feelings, choosing your responses, and remaining steady in the face of uncertainty. It's a practice, a commitment to responding with intention rather than impulse. With this mastery, you'll find that life's challenges become less daunting and more like opportunities to grow. True strength lies not in the absence of emotion but in the ability to guide it wisely, step by step. You are truly strong when you take responsibility for your actions. Imagine this scenario: you've promised a colleague that you'll finish part of a report by the weekend. The days pass quickly, and with other pressing tasks, you miss the deadline. What do? Many might be tempted to make excuses, blaming a heavy workload, unforeseen circumstances, or even other people. But taking responsibility means acknowledging your failure without hesitation. You own up to your mistake, apologize, and make it right. At first glance, this might seem like a small act, but it speaks volumes about your character. Avoiding mistakes isn't the issue, it's about how you respond to them. Seneca wisely noted, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Mistakes are inevitable. They mark the end of one attempt and the start of learning. What defines you is whether you use those moments to grow. Taking responsibility requires courage. It's not easy to admit when we're wrong, especially when the world often celebrates perfection. But let's face it, perfection is an illusion. We're all flawed, and we all stumble. True strength comes from facing those flaws head-on and choosing to make amends rather than hiding behind excuses. I once worked with someone who exemplified this beautifully. She was leading a major project, and an oversight on her part delayed a key milestone. Instead of blaming her team or circumstances, she addressed the issue with transparency. She gathered the team, admitted her error, and presented a clear plan to resolve the setback. Her honesty inspired trust and respect, not just because she took ownership, but because she showed us how to lead with integrity. When you take responsibility, you claim ownership of your life. It's an empowering act, reminding you that you are not a victim of your circumstances, you are the author of your own story. Each mistake becomes a lesson, a stepping stone toward becoming wiser and stronger. The Stoics teach us that responsibility is a path to freedom. Epictetus said, "It is not what happens to you but how you react to it that matters." When you take responsibility, you free yourself from the weight of excuses and blame. You choose to act rather than be acted upon, shaping your future with deliberate intention. So how can we practice taking responsibility in everyday life? Start small. If you forget to return a friend's call, don't make excuses, apologize sincerely and set things right. When faced with criticism, resist the urge to defend yourself immediately. Reflect on whether there's truth in the feedback, and if there is, act on it. Remember, responsibility also means acknowledging your successes. It's not just about owning mistakes, it's about celebrating the times when your actions made a positive difference. This balance keeps you grounded, allowing you to grow without being weighed down by self-doubt or inflated by pride. Life will present countless moments where you must choose between blame and accountability. The easy path is often to shift the burden elsewhere. But the stronger path, the Stoic path, is to accept the truth, however uncomfortable, and use it as a catalyst for growth. Taking responsibility doesn't just make you a better colleague, friend, or partner. It makes you a better version of yourself. It builds resilience, fosters trust, and helps you create a life of integrity and purpose. In a world that often avoids accountability, those who embrace it shine as examples of what true strength looks like. Word by word, action by action, responsibility is the foundation on which greatness is built. And it is through this foundation that you stand tall, no matter what life throws your way. Fear is a universal emotion. It whispers doubts, paints worst-case scenarios, and tells you to step back. Yet the strongest among us don't run from fear, they face it head-on. They see fear not as an enemy but as a teacher, a stepping stone toward growth and transformation. Consider this: you offered an opportunity to speak in front of a crowd. Fear tells you, what if you embarrass yourself? You hesitate. But then you take a deep breath and accept. In that moment, you've chosen growth over comfort. You've decided that the possibility of failure is worth the chance to learn and stretch beyond your current limits. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor, once said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Fear often stems from how we perceive challenges, not the challenges themselves. Now think about this: you have an exam, an interview, or a difficult conversation ahead. Fear will try to stop you by highlighting what could go wrong. A strong person, however, recognizes this voice and chooses to act despite it. They understand that courage is not the absence of fear but the decision to move forward regardless of it. Let's look at smaller, everyday moments. Imagine hesitating to express your opinion in a meeting for fear of judgment. You pause, then speak up. Or consider the hesitation to try a new hobby because you fear you won't excel. You try anyway. These are victories, however small, where fear is faced and strength is built. The Stoics believed in preparing for challenges before they arrived. Seneca advised, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Anticipate difficulties, but don't let them paralyze you. Instead, see them as opportunities to practice resilience. Practical strategies can help you face fears more effectively. Start with deep breathing. When fear grips you, steady your breath to calm your racing thoughts. Break tasks into smaller steps to make daunting challenges more manageable. Remind yourself that discomfort is temporary, but growth is lasting. Facing fear isn't about being fearless, it's about action. Each time you face what scares you, you become a little braver. You start to realize that fear is often an illusion, a barrier that dissolves when confronted. Life will always present challenges, but fear doesn't have to hold you back. See it for what it is, a signpost pointing toward growth. As Epictetus said, difficulties are things that show a person what they are. Embrace them. Take that next step, however small it may seem, because on the other side of fear lies transformation, a stronger, wiser, and more resilient you. In every fearful moment, there is an invitation to rise. The choice is yours. There's a unique kind of strength in being comfortable with solitude, a strength that is often misunderstood. In a world that constantly demands connection and thrives on distractions, being alone is sometimes seen as a weakness, a failure to engage. But solitude, when embraced, is a powerful ally. It forces you to confront yourself, to reflect, and ultimately, to grow. Imagine a quiet evening with no notifications buzzing and no one seeking your attention. At first, the silence feels unfamiliar, maybe even uncomfortable. But slowly, the stillness becomes a mirror, reflecting truths about yourself that the noise of daily life often drowns out. This is the power of solitude. It strips away external influences and helps you understand who you truly are. Epictetus once said, "He who is not satisfied with the little is satisfied with nothing." Solitude teaches you to be content with what you have and to find fulfillment within yourself rather than seeking it in external validation. In these quiet moments, you learn self-reliance, building the kind of resilience that no one can take away. Unlike loneliness, which is marked by a longing for connection, solitude is a choice. It's an intentional decision to step away from the chaos and nurture your inner world. This distinction matters. Loneliness drains. Solitude replenishes. Consider the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, and nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his soul. In solitude, you create space to listen to your thoughts, examine your values, and align your actions with your principles. It's a sacred pause in the rush of life, a chance to recalibrate. But solitude is not always easy. It requires courage to face your thoughts without distraction, to sit with your doubts and fears rather than escape from them. Yet this process is transformative. It's in solitude that you build emotional strength, learning to soothe your anxieties and celebrate your victories without the need for external approval. Solitude also deepens your sense of purpose. When you step away from the expectations of others, you gain clarity about what truly matters to you. You're no longer living to meet societal demands, you're living in alignment with your own goals and values. This is the kind of authenticity that creates lasting fulfillment. In today's fast-paced world, solitude is often seen as a luxury. But for the Stoics, it was essential. They understood that time alone wasn't about retreating from life, it was about preparing for it. By taking the time to strengthen your inner self, you become better equipped to handle challenges, build relationships, and contribute meaningfully to the world. To embrace solitude is to embrace the strength within yourself. It's a reminder that you are enough just as you are. As you sit in the stillness, you discover a profound truth: strength isn't something you find in the world, it's something you cultivate within. In solitude, there's peace. In peace, there's clarity. And in clarity, there's power, the kind of power that allows you to face life's storms with calm and confidence. Choose to embrace it. I have a younger sister who embodies incredible resilience. No matter what happens in her life, she greets it with a smile and unwavering positivity. She doesn't deny her struggles or pretend that everything is perfect, but she chooses to see challenges as opportunities. It's no wonder people are drawn to her warmth. Her optimism inspires others to look for the silver lining in their own lives. Watching her, I often think to myself, this is what true strength looks like. Staying positive in adversity is not about ignoring pain or dismissing hardship. It's about choosing to focus on what you can learn, what you can change, and what remains good, even in the darkest moments. As Marcus Aurelius once wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This mindset is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy and a testament to the power of perspective. Adversity is inevitable. Life, with its twists and turns, challenges even the best of us. But it is within these challenges that we discover who we truly are. When you maintain a positive outlook, you shift the narrative. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances and instead become the author of your response. This doesn't erase the difficulty, it transforms how you face it. Your time and energy are precious, and you are worthy of the peace that comes from protecting them. This quiet strength is what allows you to thrive, no matter the demands of the world around you. Lifting others up strengthens and empowers the community. True strength is not just about overcoming your challenges, it's about using your resilience to inspire and uplift others. A truly strong person doesn't compete to tear others down, they collaborate to build them up. They understand that lifting someone else doesn't diminish their light, it makes it shine even brighter. Think of a time when someone believed in you even when you doubted yourself. Maybe it was a teacher who encouraged you, a friend who reminded you of your worth, or a mentor who pushed you to aim higher. Their belief in you became the spark you needed to persevere. This is the power of lifting others. When you support someone, you create a ripple effect of strength and confidence that extends far beyond that single moment. The Stoics remind us of the interconnectedness of humanity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "What brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee." When you help others thrive, you enrich not only their lives but also your own. A community built on mutual support becomes stronger together, weathering challenges that no individual could face alone. Lifting others isn't always about grand gestures. Sometimes, it's as simple as listening without judgment or offering words of encouragement. These small acts of kindness can transform someone's day, even their perspective on life. Let me share a story about myself. A few years ago, I worked with someone who was struggling with a critical project. They were overwhelmed, doubting their skills, and unsure how to proceed. Instead of focusing on their challenges, I decided to step in. I sat down with them, offered constructive feedback, and helped break the tasks into manageable steps. Together, we worked through the challenges, refining each detail with care and determination. The result was remarkable. Not only did the project succeed, but it also transformed how my colleague viewed their own capabilities. They gained confidence, and our professional relationship grew stronger, built on mutual trust and respect. That moment taught me something invaluable: lifting someone else doesn't just help them succeed, it fosters collaboration, strengthens connections, and creates shared victories that uplift everyone involved. The act of lifting others is not self-sacrifice, it's a demonstration of strength and empathy. It requires you to set aside ego and see the potential in others, even when they can't see it themselves. As Epictetus said, be helpful to those who are vulnerable, for you may one day find yourself in need of assistance. Supporting others is not only a gift to them but also a practice of humility and gratitude. Sometimes, lifting others means stepping back and letting them take the spotlight. Strong individuals don't need constant recognition, they find fulfillment in the achievements of those they've supported. This kind of generosity is rare, but it's also transformative. It builds communities where success is shared, not hoarded, and where collaboration replaces competition. To lift others, start with small, intentional actions. Celebrate someone's achievements without envy. Offer encouragement when someone faces a challenge. Share your knowledge and experience freely, knowing that wisdom grows when it is shared. The Stoic perspective reminds us that life is a shared journey. Seneca advised, "No man can live happily who has regard for himself alone and turns everything to his advantage." You must live for your neighbor if you would live for yourself. By lifting others, you create a legacy of strength that extends beyond your own life. Ultimately, lifting others is an expression of your inner strength. It's a commitment to building something greater than yourself, a community where everyone can thrive. As you empower others, you reaffirm your belief in the collective power of humanity, proving that true strength lies not in isolation but in connection. This is the essence of lifting others, a quiet, powerful act of courage that strengthens bonds, creates opportunities, and leaves a lasting impact. In lifting others, you rise with them. As we draw this journey to a close, remember that strength isn't something you're born with, it's something you cultivate every day. True inner strength lies in mastering emotional control, taking responsibility, facing fears, embracing solitude, staying positive in adversity, setting boundaries, and lifting others. These aren't just signs of resilience, they are practices that shape a fulfilling and meaningful life. Stoic philosophy reminds us that the power to grow stronger lies within our reach. Each moment offers a choice, to react impulsively or respond wisely, to focus on what you can control, and to approach life's challenges with grace and determination. The beauty of these lessons is that they are timeless and universal. They can guide you through the chaos of modern life, offering clarity and peace in even the most trying moments. I encourage you to take these lessons to heart and practice them daily, even in small ways. When you encounter difficulties, remind yourself that every challenge is an opportunity to grow. When you help someone else rise, you strengthen the community around you. These practices will not only build your resilience but also inspire those around you to find their quiet strength. And now, I'd love to hear from you. How have you faced adversity? How do you practice strength in your daily life? Share your stories in the comments below. Let's learn from and inspire one another. Together, we can grow stronger.